How you going, guys? I've got a white ash blank here. Just take some corners off of the rocking gouge. Then I get a cylinder shape, nice and smooth. It's turning a pepper grinder today. The mechanism we're using is crusher from Southeast Queensland woodworking supplies. So just with the rocking gouge, just getting the blank nice and round. Approximately 28 centimeters long, and it was 100 millimeters square when I started. Now I've got the blank nice and round. I move over to the Vic Mark 200 chuck with the extended sharp jaws. I've gone halfway through the blank when I've decided the length of my head of the grinder. I went halfway through the blank with a parting tool, and I'm just going to finish it off now with a pull saw. It's quite a quick, easy little process if you push it all the way through. And here I'm just working on the top of the blank. I'm going to concave the top a little bit. Then I put a 25 millimeter Forstner bit halfway down through the blank. I'll continue that hole from the base once I do a few different stage holes. We'll do a 45 millimeter hole with a Forstner bit about 20 millimeters in, and then with a 40 millimeter we go about another 30 millimeters deep, and then the remaining of the hole you use a 25 millimeter to connect to the top hole that you've already previously drilled. The white ash is an incredibly hard and dense wood. Not as hard as some of the Australian woods I've worked with, but it just seems to get the gouges and the Forstner bits incredibly hot. You'll see a bit later there's a lot of smoking, and the burnt smell in the wood lasted about an hour after turning this project. I do apologise for the whiteout on the blank. I do have two different lights. I didn't realise that it was set at the wrong angle and causing so much reflection. But you get the idea. I'm just pushing in with the tailstock and pushing in the Forstner bit to the desired depth. Once you've drilled both ends, you can take the tendon off the bottom, sorry. I'll flip it around in a minute. Oh, there you go, it's come out of the chuck. That's what happens when you buy cheap chucks, guys. If you can afford it, get a good quality one. It does it to me all the time. This chuck just rattles loose, no matter how hard I torque it. But that's what we've got to deal with, so that's what we've got. I'll go back and I'll go all the way to the depth of the Forstner bit from one end. This is the top that I'm working. Once I get this hole drilled, I will flip it around from the bottom to the base. As I said previously, with a 45mm Forstner bit, you go in about 20 millimeters, and change your bit to a 40mm Forstner bit, you go in a further 30 millimeters. This will hold the mechanism. And then you change back to the 25mm Forstner bit and drill all the way through. I did give it a light sand and a bit of shaping before I switch it over. So now we go to the base and we do the steps I previously mentioned. I'm no expert at doing these grinders. I only just started using these mechanisms because I like the look of what you could do without the nut on top of the grinder. Traditional pepper grinders, as you well know, has the nut on the top that you use to tension the grinder itself to give you finer or coarser pepper. With this design, which is a crusher design, it comes from Denmark. It's quite a good design. You adjust your coarseness of your grind from the knob at the bottom of the grinder. So now I'm doing the previously mentioned steps. Once I get the blank lined up, alright, so that's all done now. So now we're ready for the assembly. Put the blank on a jam chuck from the base. I use the tailstock to give support. And now I'm just turning a little bead. This is completely up to your own desire. Any design you wish to do on the blank now is personal preference. Just remember that you do have a hole all the way through the middle. Try not to go too deep. Otherwise you have to bugger it up and you have to start everything again. I haven't done that, but I'm sure someone has out there. So I used a 1-inch scraper just to give 2 big concaves. Could have used the detail spindle gouge, but they're so big and sweeping that it's a perfect tool for it. The 1-inch scraper, and it's a nice fast process. So that's what I used. You see it eats away at material incredibly fast, and I've got a really nice speed on this scraper, so it's especially sharpened, so it's nice and sharp. Scraper you can find in a lot of places, but I got mine from Ultra is a brand that here in Perth in Australia, Beyond Tools, they stock. For the price is incredible quality. I do have a lot of different brand gouges and scrapers, but I find for what they cost and the marginal improvement and performance you get, the Ultra brand is best value for buck that I've come across so far. Now we're just working on the shape of it, getting it to where we like it. Once we're happy with the shape and the design, then we can think about the sanding and the finishing process. With my grinders, I only sand from 120 up to 320 via the 240 grit. I find that's about all you need. I do finish them with wood wax, oils, lots of different products you can use. I like a sort of robust finish that's not too shiny. Otherwise I find it's a little bit too slippery in the hand, but of course you want it to be nice and smooth. It's not totally necessary to use food safe products on the outside, as you're not going to come in contact with any food on the outside of the grinder. On the inside of my grinders I only sand and leave completely natural. Depending on the wood species, of course. If it's not a safe wood to use to come in contact with food, I generally wouldn't use it for something that is going to come in contact with food. Just finalising the design here. Get it right before you go to sanding. Stepping back, just having a look at the size and shape of both concaves, making sure they're both okay. Now it's time for some sanding. I like to use a sponge the sandpaper around the sponge and designs like this. It kind of works around the bills a lot better. It takes the sharp edge off the your beads as well. Just fold it over like so to get right in between the deep beads. Always with 120 I spend a lot more time and care in getting all the tool marks out and good. Once I finish sanding, I hit it with a little bit of Yorkshire grit, and I use 0.00 fine steel wool. What this does is the friction creates this almost patina coming out of the wool that goes into the grain of the wood, and you can see the difference it makes. It really brings out all the dark grain, and that's the end product. So they're quite handy little things to make. They sell well at the markets. I mean, they're not incredibly difficult. The crush grinder is a very user-friendly mechanism, and I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching.